Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zolotech, and today Apple released iOS 26.5 Beta 1 version 2. iOS 26.5 Beta 1 version 2 is available around the world at the same time for everyone, as long as you're a developer. So far, the public beta is not out yet. Hopefully it'll be out by the time you're watching this video. This came in at 536.9 megabytes on the iPhone 17 Pro Max and was about the same size on the iPad, where Apple also released iPadOS 26.5 Beta 1 version 2. There were no additional updates with Apple Watch, nothing for Mac, nothing for tvOS, HomePodOS, or visionOS. So at this point, it's just the iPhone and iPad. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the build number and talk about what's new. So we'll go into settings, and this time if we go to general and software update, thanks to the iOS 26.4 update, we can just go in here and tap on the version number. As you can see, the build number is 23F5043K. So we do have a new build number here. That's the difference as far as the build. As far as what's new, there is no modem update whatsoever, and it doesn't appear to be any specific features that have been added this time around. Now we will cover the Beta 1 features, but as far as what they've fixed, there seems to be a couple things that have been updated, but that's about it. The first new feature from Beta 1, though, is if we go back, we go into our messages settings. So we'll go down to apps and then messages. Under RCS messaging, again, they've added back end-to-end encryption. So hopefully this works a little bit better, but again, it's in beta and only on supported carriers. Within our settings under notifications, we still have the notification forwarding option. This allows us to forward to third-party devices, whether that's a third-party watch or something like that. So this is something that will be in the European Union as well, where we'll have fast pairing with things such as third-party devices similar to AirPods. So maybe third-party headphones, they should be able to fast pair as well, where we get that similar pop-up there. If we go into Apple Maps, we have suggestions now when you go to search for something. So we have suggested places. This is sort of in preparation for Apple bringing ads here. So if someone wants to maybe have their restaurant listed at the top, they could do that if someone searches nearby. So that's in preparation for that. Now, also in Beta 1 that I didn't mention in the initial What's New video is the ability to quickly pair devices such as the Apple Magic Keyboard, Magic Mouse, and Magic Trackpad. So we can wirelessly pair them just by plugging them in like you would on a Mac. So if I plug it in here, it should pair the trackpad. I should be able to use it now, and it will wirelessly pair it. If I unplug it, it should still work. So we'll give it a second to rejoin there, and now you'll see I can use the mouse while I'm using the trackpad over here on the side. So that's something that will wirelessly pair now on its own. If we go into our clock and maybe we have a sleep schedule set up, we go into the alarm for that. There's a new option to always play on iPhone. It says when you wear your Apple Watch to bed, your alarm will play on your iPhone and Apple Watch. Maybe this solves the issue with people wearing their watch and not hearing their alarm go off. Now it will always go off on the iPhone if you select that. With earlier versions of iOS 26, Apple brought the option to transfer to Android. When you do transfer to Android, there's a new update here where you can transfer all of your messages or just some of them over to the Android device. You'll have an option to select none, 30 days, 1 year, or all. Back within our settings under General and then Keyboard, if we go to the keyboards at the top and add a new keyboard, scroll down, there's a new option here for a new keyboard layout. You'll see it here. Inuktitut, and hopefully I'm saying that properly, but you'll see the option has been added here. Also, according to Aaron P613 on X, he found that Magnifier has an update where it says you'll be able to use Magnifier after your parent or guardian approves your request. I haven't seen this option yet, but it looks like it's in the code here. There's also new mentions of awards for Apple Books. However, this could show up toward the end of the year or some other time, as we're not seeing it within the app itself. Now, as far as bugs and bug fixes, I think the reason this update was pushed out with iOS 26.5 Beta 1 version 2 is probably because of Face ID bugs and maybe some other bugs. For example, many people online, such as on Reddit, for example, reported issues with Face ID after installing the first beta. So this hopefully resolves that issue. I did not have the issue myself, but let me know if it's fixed it for you. Tex To Siri is not fixed yet. So what I mean by that is double tap here. When you start to type something, maybe such as App Store, you can still type it and then open up the App Store this way, but it should automatically give suggestions and other things, and it's just not doing that with this update. So hopefully they fix it. This still is broken in 26.4 as well. One thing that is fixed though is the wallpaper bug. It looks to be nice and vibrant. Swipe home, and it might dim a little bit, but then it retains its vibrancy. So it seems like it's fixed in iOS 26.5, at least so far. As far as any other bugs, I haven't seen any other reports so far. We're not exactly sure why they pushed this update. And of course, this may delay iOS 26.5 Beta 2. We don't know this for sure, but based on the current timeline, it could delay it a few days or so, or maybe a week or two. So at this point, typically we would get a bi-weekly release. We could expect it around the 13th. However, with iOS 26.4, we got weekly releases. So it's possible we could see it push out on the 6th, maybe with a public beta, and then maybe another beta after that, but we might not see anything this following week, and we may have to wait until the 13th or 14th for beta 2. We just don't know yet. We also could see iOS 26.4.1 as Apple has stopped signing iOS 26.3.1. Usually after they do that, we could see a new update within a few weeks, so maybe we'll see something in mid-April where we'll have iOS 26.4.1. Of course, the big updates we expect is with iOS 27, which is only a couple months away now. In June 8th, we expect WWDC 2026 to show us our first look at iOS 27 and then have iOS 27 Beta 1. That's what we expect there, of course, with betas throughout the summer and a public release in September. That's typically what Apple does. Now, as far as if you should install iOS 26.5 Beta 1 version 2, absolutely if you're on the first beta. Other than that, I would probably hold off, stay on the public release for a while. It seems to be pretty good for most people, with the exception of some complaining about battery life, but again, we'll talk about that in the weekend follow-up video. It seems to be fairly smooth. That's the other thing that may be fixed in version 2. It feels incredibly smooth, with ProMotion seeming smooth here. The overall experience just seems very, very smooth, even though it's processing in the background. When it comes to heat, of course, it just installed an update. It's going to stay a bit warm. And again, we'll check that in the weekend follow-up video. As far as battery life on the first beta, I can show you that a little bit. So if we go back here, we'll go back into battery health. I'm at 100% with 53 cycles. And if we take a look at battery usage, you'll see today 2 hours and 55 minutes of screen active time, 33 minutes of screen idle time, and I've used 41% of the battery. So it's doing okay for me so far. Beta 1 was getting me through the day, and hopefully this one's even better. As far as storage, since many people have been asking that online, if we go to General, iPhone Storage, we'll compare it with 26.4. So with overall storage, you'll see iOS 26.4 on the left, 26.5 Beta 1 version 2 on the right, and iOS is taking up 14.24 gigabytes compared to 14.22 gigabytes on iOS 26.4. Not much of a difference here. Apple Intelligence, of course, can vary. As far as system data, that goes up and down. This will go up to 20 gigabytes, sometimes 60 gigabytes, come back down to 1 gigabyte, go back up. It just varies, so I don't pay any attention to it, but it's completely normal. It shouldn't typically use up so much storage that you can't install apps, though. Let's go ahead and run benchmarks, see what we get there. Initial benchmarks completed, and we have 3,807 for single core, 9,656 for multi-core. Of course, if we give it more time, we'll check it again. It will probably take at least a few days, so we'll talk about it next week and see what the overall benchmarks are like. But let me know your scores in the comments below. So that's everything with iOS 26.5 Beta 1 version 2. Hopefully we see some additional features with Beta 2 and maybe some other changes as well. I'm looking forward to Siri 2.0 to see what that has to offer, but we'll have to wait and see. Let me know your experience in the comments below, and of course I'll link this wallpaper in the description like I normally do. If you haven't subscribed already though, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.